Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is on December 8th, 2022. It's on Thursday, and it's sunny outside. How are you spending Thursday today? For most of the salaried workers and students, Friday will be the last working day, studying day, and 2 day offs on Saturdays and Sundays are waiting for you. But there are some exceptions, and there are some people who are working on Saturdays and Sundays too, with a different shift than others, from others, with others. Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Japan adopts lay judge system. In the United States adopts jury system. There are some differences between jury and lay judge system. Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Lay judge. Lay judge system. Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Lay judge, lay judge, lay judge, lay judge, lay judge, lay judge, lay judge. Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Lay judge, lay judge, lay judge. Have you ever been chosen as a lay judge? Lay judges are chosen from a voter who are 20 years old or more. Lay judges are chosen from the voter at the age of 20 and more. Lay judges are chosen from the voters over the age of 20. The scary news deterred me, prevented me, kept me, stopped me from going abroad. There are some factors discouraging me from going abroad. There are some factors deterring us from challenging our dreams, pursuing our dreams. There are some factors deterring us from pursuing our dreams. There are some factors deterring us from pursuing our dreams. The factors are anxiety, being criticized, and so on. The disease deterred the person from drinking a lot of alcoholic beverages and smoking a cigarette. There are some factors deterring me. There are some factors deterring me. And there are some factors deterring me. The fallen trees on the road deter the drivers from going through. The fallen trees on the road deter the drivers from going through. The fallen trees on the road deter drivers from passing. The fallen trees on the road deter the drivers from going through. Passing. The fallen trees deter the drivers from passing. The fallen trees on the road after the typhoon deter the drivers from passing by. The fallen trees and other objects on the road after the typhoon deter the commuters from passing. The dropping in must be deterring many Japanese tourists from going abroad. The dropping yen is also deterring me from going abroad. The cold and rainy weather deterred me from going outside. The cold weather and rainy weather deterred me from going outside. The tiredness from yesterday, from the other day, deterred me from going outside. The tiredness from the previous day deterred me from going to the gym. The record high temperature hit 41.1 degrees Celsius. You almost hit the pedestrian. You have to drive your car carefully. His TOEIC score almost hit 900. You almost hit the 900. So you will get over 900 next time. We cannot allow you to enter this facility unless you hit the requirement. We are not allowed to drink alcoholic beverages nor smoke a cigarette unless we hit the 20. Unless we hit the 20 in Japan. We are not allowed to drink alcoholic beverages nor smoke a cigarette before we become 20 years old. Until we become 20 years old in Japan, we are not allowed to drink alcoholic beverages, nor smoke cigarettes until we become 20, until we turn 20 in Japan. Until we hit 20, until we hit 20, until we hit 20. The water level of the dam is hitting the dangerous zone. The water level of the dam is hitting the highest line. If the water levels goes beyond the highest line, it will have to be released, which means much water will be released to the river mouth, which might cause flood in the river mouth area, which might cause a flood. Which might cause a flood at the river mouth area. We are not allowed to drink alcoholic beverages nor smoke cigarettes until we hit the 20 years old. According to the weather forecast, the temperature will hit -1 degrees Celsius tomorrow. According to the weather forecast, the temperature will hit minus degrees. According to the weather forecast, the temperature will hit minus degrees and 0 degrees. Fortunately, my TOEIC score hit over 900. Fortunately, my TOEIC score hit 900. Fortunately, my TOEIC score hit 920, which I was aiming at. Fortunately, my TOEIC score hit 920, which I was aiming at. Unless you hit the requirement, unless you hit the requirement, we cannot allow you to operate the machine. It's very dangerous to operate. So unless you hit the requirement, we cannot allow you to operate the machine. The water level of the dam is hitting the highest line, highest level. The water level of the dam is hitting the highest level. If the water level goes beyond the highest line, it will have to be released, which means a flood might occur, come about at the river, in the river mouth area. There are such factors as anxiety, being afraid of being criticized, and so on, when we pursue our dreams. There are some such factors as anxiety, risk, criticisms, and so on when we pursue our dreams. There are some deterring factors. There are such deterring factors as criticisms, anxiety, risk, and so on. I like such food as gyudon, a bowl of rice, topped with beef, tempura, the vegetables, and seafood dipped in a butter and fried in a deep oil, which can be eaten after being dipped in a special sauce called tentsuyu. There are such deterring factors as the cold weather, rainy weather, and so on. There are such factors as dropping yen, border measures, and so on, which are deterring me from going abroad. I used to work as a non-regular employee. The number of non-regular employees has been increasing. The number of non-regular employees has been increasing. The number of non-regular employees has been increasing. I used to work as a non-regular employee. I used to work as a non-regular employee. The salary gap between regular and non-regular employees should be shrinked. The salary gap between regular and non-regular employees is often troublesome issue brought up in an issue. The salary gap and salary and beneficial gap between regular and non-regular employees are often brought up as an issue, often raised in an issue. Many gaps between regular and non-regular employees are often raised as problems. I used to work as a non-regular employee. I used to work as a non-regular employee. I haven't worked as a regular 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 employee. I used to work as a non-regular employee. I used to work as a non-regular employee. No one knows the reasons behind the decision. No one knows the reasons behind the decisions. No one knows the reasons behind the decision. 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 The reasons behind the decision was disclosed by anonymous men. The specialists are predicting the reasons behind the decision. Some experts are predicting the reasons behind the decision. We should take time off regularly to keep motivated, take a balance. Taking a balance is the most important part to everything. If the balance collapses, everything will start to collapse, and which will make the efficiency worse. So taking a balance is the best strategy in the long run. I asked my boss whether I could take a day off. I can take time off on the next day. He said okay. I asked my boss if I could take time off work on the next day. He said okay. I asked my boss if I could take time off work on the next day. He said okay, casually. He said okay immediately. Taking a time off is very important. Taking a time off is not as important than eating vegetables. Taking time off is not as important than eating vegetables. Taking time off is less important than sleeping enough is. Eating a lot is no more healthy than staying late at night is. Eating a lot is no more healthy than sleeping too much is. We should take time off regularly, on a regular basis. We should take time off. We should have a break. We should take a break on a regular basis. I used to work on a 4-day basis. I used to work on a 4-day basis. On a 4-day to holiday basis. On a 4-day work, 2-day day off basis. 4-day 2-day off basis. I used to work as a 4-day work, 2-day day off basis. I used to work on a 4-day work and 2-day off basis. We should take time off work sometimes to to relax, to release our stress. Taking time off is no less important than sleeping enough is. I asked my boss if I could take time off work on the next day suddenly. He said, okay. I asked my boss whether I could take time off work on the next day on short notice. He said, okay. I asked if I could take time off work on the next for the next day on short notice. She said, okay. Is asking whether we can take time off on short notice rude? Is asking the take time off. Is asking if we can take time off work. Take time off work on the next day on short notice rude? Take time off. We should take time off regularly. Sometimes we should take time off. 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 Take time off. Take time off. Take time off. Take time off work. Take time off work. Take time off. Take time off. We should take time off regularly for our health. It's time we took time off. It's high time you took a day off. You took a day off. You took a time off. You took time off. It's high time you took time off. It's high time you took a day off. It's high time you took a day off. It's about time you took a day off. It's high time you took time off. You took time off. It's high time you took time off. You should take a time off. You should take time off. You should take time off. Take time off. Take time off. You look pale. You should take time off. You look pale today. You should take time off. You should take time off. You should take time off work. You should take time off. You look so tired recently. You should take time off work. You look so tired recently. You should take time off. You should take time off. You look so tired recently. You've been looking so tired. You've looked so tired. You have looked so tired recently. You should take time off. 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 You've looked so tired recently for the past few weeks. You should take time off. You should take time off. You should take time off. You should take time off work. You should take time off. You've looked so tired recently for the past few weeks. You should take time off. You should take time off work. You should take time off. Take time off. Take time off. I ate 1 kilogram of pizza tops. I got 920 on TOEIC test tops. The soccer team proceeded to best 16 on World Cup tops. So this time, many people were expecting the team to proceed to the best 8. I waited for an attraction at an amusement park 3 hours tops. I waited for 3 hours at tops. I waited for 3 hours tops at an attraction. The temperature went up to 41.1 degrees Celsius at tops. The temperature went up to rise up to 41.1 degrees Celsius tops in the region, in the district. I ate 1 kilogram of 1 kilo steak tops. I ate 1 kilo steak tops. I can swim 50 meters 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 at the longest. At the longest tops. I can swim 50 meters 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 tops. How long can you swim? How long can you swim? I swam 50 meters at the longest. I swam 50 meters tops. How far have you ever been to? I went somewhere 700 kilometers from my house tops. I ate 1 kilogram of 1 kilo steak tops. I ate 1 kilo pizza at the most tops. I jumped 150 centimeter tops. I leaped over 150 centimeters tops. 150 centimeters tops. 150 centimeters tops. I leaped over 150 centimeters more tops. I got 920 on TOEIC score tops. I got 920 scores tops. I ate 1 kilogram of pizza tops. His defending term lasted 5 times tops. His defending series lasted 5 times tops. The temperature rised up to 41.1 degrees Celsius tops. The temperature hit 41.1 degrees Celsius tops. I sometimes see a board reading "Do not use a drug." I sometimes see a board saying written "Do not use a drug." The man was arrested for possessing a stimulant drug. The man was arrested for possessing a stimulant drug. Stimulant drug. The man was arrested for possessing a stimulant drug by the police officers. Police officers found the man possessing a stimulant drug. The police officers searched for stimulant drug from him. The police officers detected the man using a stimulant drug. Stimulant drug. The man was arrested for possessing a stimulant drug. The man was arrested for possessing stimulant drug. I sometimes see a board reading "Do not use a drug." I sometimes see a board reading "Do not use a drug." I sometimes see a board written "Do not use the drug." I sometimes see a board reading "Do not use the drug." The man was arrested for possessing stimulant drug. Stimulant drug. Stimulant drug. The man was arrested for possessing a stimulant drug by the police officer. The police officers asked some question to the suspected man in search for stimulant drug. The police officers asked some question to the suspected man in search for stupid drug or any kinds of drug. There are some presidential candidates. Only a few select candidates can go on to the next interview. Only a few select candidates can go on to the next stage. Only a few select candidates can go on to the next stage. Popularity will decline with time. Popularity will decline with time. Popularity will decline with time. Can you decline to go to the party? Can you decline the offer from your boss? Can you decline to go to the party? The invitation from your boss. Can you decline to go to the party from your boss? I've declined many offers. I've declined many offers. Declining the offer is sometimes important too. The right to decline the offers is also important. We cannot accept all of the offers. We are not a Superman, right? So declining the offer is also important. Case by case, it depends. The venture company introduced many crazy ideas from the employees, succeeding in the business in the end, in the long run. The venture business is introducing many unique ideas. I think not many people can introduce crazy ideas, machines, way of thinking, and so on. I believe, I consider that not many managers of the company will introduce unique, crazy ideas. The employee was introduced as a superhero. The factory is going to introduce new machines. The factory is going to introduce a couple of new machines for the production. Have you introduced yourself to each other? Have you introduced yourself to each other? What are you analyzing? The association is analyzing the data. The astronomers are analyzing the data. After analyzing, we will see the tendency of the consumer confidence. Consumer confidence. It is said when the economy goes down, the criminal rates will increase. It is said that when the economy goes down, the criminal rate will increase. It is said when the economy goes down, declines, diminish, shrinks, the criminal rate will increase. It is often said that when the economy goes down, criminal rate will increase. When you choose a restaurant where you go, Do you refer to the rate? Do you refer to the rate? Do you quote the rate? Do you cite the rate? Do you check the rates? Reviews. When you find the restaurant where you will eat, do you check the rate? As an experience, I'd like to listen to the trial someday. I haven't been a late judge nor a juror. I haven't been to a court of justice. So as an experience, I'd like to listen to a trial someday, just to study, just to learn how it is like as an experience. As a trial, I took the course on trial. Come join us on trial. Come join us on trial. You can try trial free. You can try the trial for free. You can have the trial for free. I tried the trial version of the software. The website is offering trial version of the software. 30 minutes for free. The website is offering trial version of the software for 30 minutes. How long does the trials usually? How long do the trials usually last? How long do the trials usually last? How long do the trials usually last? Trials usually last. How long do the trials usually last? How long do the trials usually last? Usually last. How long do the trials usually last? 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 It depends. Have you ever listened to a trial in the court of justice? In a court of justice, how long do the trials usually last? How long do the trials usually last? How long did the trial last at the longest? How long did the trial last at the longest? How long did the trials last at the longest ever? How long do the trials last? How long did the trials last at the longest ever? At the longest ever. How long did the trials last at the longest ever? How long did the trials last at the longest ever? How long did the trials last at the longest ever? How long did the trials last at the longest ever? How long did the trials last at the longest ever? Trial. It is under trial. The new medicine is still under trial. It is not sold. It is not prescribed by the doctor yet. The new medicines are still under trial. The new medicine, some new medicines are still under trial. They haven't been prescribed yet. They haven't been prescribed yet. They haven't been prescribed by the doctors yet. There are some medicines under trial. They haven't been prescribed by the doctors yet. Have you been to a court of justice? Have you entered the court of justice? Have you entered the court of justice? The trial is scheduled for Sunday. The trial of the experiment is scheduled for Sunday. The trial is scheduled for Sunday. The trial is scheduled for Sunday. The trial is scheduled for Sunday. The new medicines are still on trial. They haven't been prescribed by the doctors yet. They haven't been prescribed by the doctors yet. Did you even keep the try and error? Can you keep trial and error until you achieve your goal? Can you keep the trial and error until you achieve your goal? I think not many people can keep the trial and error until they achieve their goals. I think not many people can continue the trial and error until they achieve their goals. I think not many people can continue trial and error, 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 and error, trial and error, trial and error, until they achieve their goals, until they achieve their goals. Trial and error, 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 trial and error. Can you keep trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error? Can you keep trial and error until you achieve your goal? I believe that not many people can keep trial and error until they achieve their goals. Trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. Is instant on trial? On trial? Is instant on trial? Is instant still on trial? Is instant still on trial? Yes, the instant is still on trial. The instant is on trial for a long time. Instant on trial. Many things are on trial. I bought the beginner's kit on trial. I tried the trial version of the software on trial. I went to the famous restaurant 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 on trial. On trial. On trial. Have you joined? Why don't you join the party on trial? Why don't you buy the beginner's kit? Beginner's kit on trial. Why don't you buy the kit needed for the start on trial? Why don't you buy the cheaper one on trial? Why don't you take the course on trial? Why don't you take the intensive course trial? I tried the cup noodle, very repeated well on trial. Very repeated well on trial. Repeated well on trial. Is the instant still on trial? Is the instant still on trial? Is the instant on still trial? Is the instant still on trial? Yes, the instant is still on trial. On trial. Yes, the instant is still 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 on trial. Why not join the party on trial? Why not join the party on trial? Why not take part in the party on trial? Why not participate in the party on trial? Why not participate in the party on trial? Why not join the party on trial? Why not take part in the party trial on trial? Is the instance still 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 on trial? On trial. Yes, the incident is still on trial. Yes, the incident is still on trial. Yes, the incident is still on trial. The incident on trial is lasting so long. The incident is still on trial. 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 Many incidents must be on trial now. Why don't you join the party on trial? Why don't you join the party on trial? Why don't you try the trial version? Why not try the trial version? Trial version. Trial version of the software for free for 30 minutes. For 30 days, not minutes. Do you know about the incident on trial? Do you know about the incident on trial? Is the incident still 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 on trial? On trial. On trial. On trial. On trial. On trial. On trial. Yes, the incident is still on trial. I went to the famous restaurant on trial to check the taste. I stopped by the famous Michi-no-eki, which is a kind of compound of some shops and resting places such as toilets along the road, especially wider road. I stopped by the Michi-no-eki, which is a compound of some shops or only resting places such as toilet on trial. I stopped by Michi-no-eki on trial, newly established Michi-no-eki on trial. I dropped in at the Michi-no-eki on trial. I stopped at the newly opened shopping mall on trial. I stopped by the newly opened shopping mall on trial. On trial. I stopped by the newly opened shopping mall on trial. I stopped by the newly opened shopping mall on trial. On trial. On trial. On trial. Why don't you try the trial version of the software? The website is offering a trial version of the software for free for 30 days. There are many softwares for a fee offered for free for 30 minutes as a trial version. There are some trial versions of softwares for limited time, for a limited time, for a limited duration, for a limited time. There are some softwares offered as a trial version for a limited time. There are some trial versions. There are some trial versions of software offered from some companies. There are some trial versions of software offered by some companies. And this was my first trial, but it was better than expected. Although it was his first trial of the struck out, he got perfect score. Although it was the first trial test on TOEIC, she got the perfect score. Although it was her first trial on TOEIC test, she got the perfect score. The trial term of the software is 30 days. How long is the trial version of the software? It might be It might have been 30 days. Please check the website. How long is the the duration of the trial version of the software? How long is the trial version of the how long does the trial version of the software last? How long does the trial version of the software last? I think it was 30 days. How long is the trial version of the software? How long is the trial version of the software? Trial policy. Trial policy. Trial version of the software. 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 Trial trial version of the software. 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 How long is the trial version of the software? How long is the trial version of the software? Trial. How long is the trial version of the software? How long is the trial version of the software? Trial version of the software. How long does the trial version of software last? How long does the trial version of the software last? How long does the trial version of the software last? How long does the trial version of the software last? How long does the trial version of the software last? How long does the trial version of the software last? How long does the trial version of the software last? How long does the trial version of the software last? Trial. Trial policy. 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 Trial. Trial policy. Trial. My trial experience. My trial visit to the tourist spot. My trial examination experience. My trial experience. My trial visit to Hakone. My trial visit to the restaurant. My first trial visit to Hakone. Trial. How was the trial visit to Hakone? How was the trial visit to Japan? How was the trial examination? How was the trial examination? Trial try. How was the trial try? How was the trial try? How was the trial try? How was your first trial try? Rehearsal. Trial performance. Trial play of the guitar. Trial play of the musical instrument at the hall. Trial play before operating the machine. Before the production. Trial play. Trial play. Trial operation will be done before the production. Trial operation of the machine will be done for a while before the production, before starting the operation, and before starting the production. Trial operation of the machine will be done before starting the production. The trial operation of the machine will be done enough before starting the production. The rise of the commodity prices also are affecting me. The rise of the commodity prices are also affecting me. I, as well as you, suffering from the rise of the commodity price. I, as well as you, am suffering from the rise of the commodity prices. Is the temperature rising? Commodity prices are rising. Commodity prices are rising. Commodity prices are rising. The sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east. Commodity prices are on the rise. The commodity prices are on the increase. The number of tourists have been on the increase recently. The number of tourists have been on the increase, on the rise. The commodity prices are on the rise. Commodity prices are on the rise. Commodity prices are on the rise. On the rise. Commodity prices are 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 on the rise. On the rise. On the rise. Many things. Prices of many things are on the rise. Prices of many things are on the rise. Prices of many things are on the rise. On the rise. On the rise. On the rise. The number of tourists has been on the rise recently. The number of tourists is on the rise recently. Prices of many things are on the rise. Prices of many things are on the rise recently. She never fails to eat everything. She never fails to eat everything served in a restaurant. She never fails to eat everything served at a restaurant. Some people never fail to eat everything served everywhere. Some people never fail to eat everything served at anywhere. If you fail to meet the requirement, we cannot accept your offer. We cannot accept it. We cannot accept you. If you fail to submit the documents on limited time, we cannot accept anything after that. If you fail to submit the document by the deadline, we cannot accept anything submitted after the deadline. If you fail to submit the document by the deadline, we cannot accept anything submitted after the deadline. Shooting star. Have you seen a shooting star? Falling star. I was looking at the leaves falling. I was looking at the leaves falling. I saw something falling from the sky. I saw something falling from the sky. The number of tourists fell drastically after the pandemic, especially after April or May in 2020. I saw something falling. I saw something falling. I saw something falling. I saw something falling. The number of tourists fell drastically, thoroughly after the pandemic. The number of tourists fell. The number of tourists fell. The number of tourists fell after the pandemic. The number of tourists fell hugely, tremendously, extraordinarily, critically after the pandemic. The number of tourists fell tremendously after the pandemic. The leaves are starting to fall. The leaves started to fall. The leaves started to fall. The sakura leaves, cherry blossoms started to fall. Cherry blossoms started to fall. Cherry blossoms have started to fall. Leaves started to fall. The number of tourists fell drastically, tremendously, extraordinarily, incredibly, after the pandemic. The athlete fell suddenly during the play, and the rescuer went to him to rescue him. The player suddenly collapsed. The player suddenly collapsed during the play, so rescuer went to him to rescue. As soon as he went to bed, he fell asleep. As soon as he went to the bed, he fell asleep. No sooner had he went to bed than he fell asleep. Hardly had he went to the bed when he fell asleep. Scarcely had he went to bed before he fell asleep. I saw some skiers falling down during the sleeping. I saw some skiers falling down. I saw some students of the motorbike falling down from the bike during the education, during the practice in the driving school. I saw some students of the driving school falling down from the big motorbike during the education, during the class. Please walk carefully, because there are many leaves on the road, so that you won't fall down. Please walk carefully so that you won't fall down. So in order that you won't fall down, please walk carefully on the icy road, because there are many pedestrians sleeping on the icy road in winter, so that you won't fall down. In order that you won't fall down. I used to fall down frequently. When I was a kid. I used to fall down frequently. When I was a kid, I would often fall down. When I was a kid, I would often fall down. When I was a kid, I would often fall down. I would often fall down. When I was a kid, I would often fall down. I would often fall down. I saw some pedestrians falling down on the icy road, so please walk carefully when you walk on the walkway, for fear that you should fall down, lest lest that you should fall down, in case you should fall down. I saw some skiers falling down during the run. I saw some skiers falling down. I saw a pedestrian falling down, walking on the street covered with leaves. Please walk carefully when you walk the street covered with leaves, because some students always fall down. Please be careful when you walk the slope covered with leaves. Please be careful when you walk the slope covered with leaves, because some students always slip and fall down. Fall down. Do not fall down. I used to fall down frequently when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to fall down frequently. I try not to fall back on companies. We shouldn't fall back on companies, but we should fall back on ourselves. I think many people will fall. Many people are falling back on companies. I think many people are falling back on companies. I think many people are falling back on companies. Do you fall back on companies? I believe many people are falling back on companies, parents, and so on. We should fall back on ourselves. 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 There was no one to be able to fall back on at that time. No one backed me up. I have little people to be able to fall back on. I have little people. I have few people to be able to fall back on. I have few people to be able to fall back on. I don't have many people to be able to fall back on. I have few people. I have few people to be able to fall back on. I have few people to fall back on. I have few people to fall back on. I have few people to be able to fall back on. Turn to, count on, rely on. Which season do you like? Fall, summer, winter, or spring? I think some people prefer autumn and spring than to summer and winter, because not too hot nor too cold. The drastic fall of the number of tourists affected tourism industry. The sharp fall The sharp fall of the tourists affected many industries. The sudden, the sharp fall of the number of tourists affected many industries. The sharp fall of the number of tourists affected battery had a bad effect on many industries. The sharp fall the sharp fall of the number of tourists had a bad effect on many industries, especially tourism industries. I learned that everything falls at the same speed, even heavy object falls at the same speed as the light object. Every object falls at the same speed. I learned that every object falls at the same speed. I learned that every object falls at the same speed. Do you like waterfalls? Do you like nature like waterfalls, greens, sky, river, ocean, and so on? My grandfather's hobby is to take pictures of nature, such as waterfalls, river, autumn leaves, and so on. Do you like falls? Are you interested in nature? Are you interested in such things as nature? Are you interested in such nature as falls, river, ocean, autumn leaves, sky, and so on? There are many fallen leaves on the slope, so please be careful when you walk. The fallen buildings are being rebuilt. The fallen building was rebuilt. Fallen leaves. When I was a kid, I used to pick up fallen crystals, fallen glasses on my way home. When I was a kid, I used to pick up fallen glasses on the road on my way home. Now, I wonder why I was doing that. Now I think why I was doing that. The sudden increase of the customers surprised the store. The sudden increase of the customers into the shop surprised the shop owner. Let's increase the racks more because the tools are increasing. So to make the space, to make space for such tools, let's buy extra racks. The company is discussing increasing the staff. The company is thinking about increasing the number of staff to cover the increased customers. The number of people who stay inside increased after the pandemic. The number of people who stay inside increased during the pandemic. The number of tourists drastically decreased after the pandemic. The number of tourists decreased tremendously. The number of tourists decreased tremendously, extraordinarily, drastically, thoroughly. The number of tourists decreased sharply after the pandemic. I try to decrease my belongings to make space. I usually try to decrease my belongings to make space. Let's decrease the number of unwanted things. When the economy shrinks, companies might think of decreasing the number of employees by laying off. When the economy goes down, when the economy shrinks, more and more companies might think of decreasing the number of staffs. The decrease in the number of tourists affected tourism industry drastically, thoroughly. The decrease in foreign tourists led to some bankrupt for companies. The sudden decrease in foreign tourists led to going bankrupt for some companies. Some companies went bankrupt because of the sudden, sharp decrease in the number of foreign tourists. Some companies, especially in tourism industry, went bankrupt because of the sharp decrease in foreign tourists. The sharp decrease in tourists affected tourism industry drastically, thoroughly. Many salaried workers are expecting for the increase in payment. Many workers are expecting the increase in payment. Employees will not wish for the decrease in payment. Employees will not wish for the decrease in payment. Extra staffs were hired to cover the increasing customers. The shop is hiring extra staffs to cope with increasing customers into the shop. The store is hiring 2 or 3 extra employees to cover the increasing customers. The store is hiring 2 or 3 employees to cover the increasing customers. The store hired 3 employees besides to cover the increasing customers. We are sometimes forced to work on weekends to meet the demand from customers. To meet the increasing demand from customers. Increasing people are now using smartphone. Increasing number of people are using has a smartphone now. Increasing people are using smartphone now. The store hired 3 extra staffs to cope with increasing customers. Increasing amount of budget was created for the next year. The store hired a couple of staffs to cope with increasing customers. The production company is planning to hire twice as much as the last year to cope with increasing demand from customers, to accelerate the production to meet the demands from customers. The production company is planning to hire twice as many employees as the previous year, to cope with increasing demand from customers and accelerate the production. The production company is planning to hire twice as many employees as the previous year. To cope with to accelerate the production. The production company is planning to hire twice as many employees as that of the previous year to accelerate the production. The production company is planning to hire twice as many employees as the previous year. To accelerate the production. I cannot eat as much as you. This car is less expensive than that one. My computer is less expensive than yours. My computer is less as expensive as yours. My computer is less as expensive as yours. My computer is less expensive as yours. My computer is less expensive than yours. My computer is not as expensive as yours. The prices are increasingly becoming expensive. The prices of commodities are becoming increasingly expensive. Increasingly expensive. The commodity prices are increasingly expensive. The commodity prices are becoming increasingly expensive. The commodity prices are becoming increasingly expensive. The commodity prices are increasingly becoming expensive. The situation is increasingly getting difficult. The situation is getting seriously and getting serious increasingly. The situation is getting serious increasingly. Increasingly. His behavior is getting worse increasingly. His behavior at work is getting worse increasingly. It's getting dark increasingly. It's getting dark increasingly. Bad reputation started to come out increasingly. Many things came to light, started to come out increasingly. Many disclosures started to come out increasingly. Many disclosures about him started to come out increasingly. Increasingly. Many evidences of the incident started to come out. Many evidences of the incident started to come out increasingly. It's getting colder increasingly. It has been getting colder increasingly. It's getting colder increasingly. His negligence at work is getting worse increasingly. His negligence at work is getting worse increasingly. I started to like her increasingly. I started to like her increasingly. I've started to like her increasingly. I've started to like her increasingly. I've started to like her increasingly. I have started to like her increasingly. I have started to like her increasingly. It's getting colder increasingly. It's getting colder increasingly. It's getting colder increasingly. The situation is becoming more difficult. The situation is increasingly becoming difficult. The tension between the two countries is becoming increasingly serious. The situation between the two countries is increasingly becoming bad. His negligence at work is getting worse increasingly. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you.